This is a top-selling Pioneer LX505 receiver, a middle model. Remember how they used to say it will never be the first or the last, especially to a volunteer? Well, this device is exactly in the perfect segment, the golden mean. The 505 model is slightly below the 305 and slightly above the 805, which can handle up to 11 channels. By the way, our hero is capable of it. 9 calls, almost there. 2 subs, can you imagine? But it's a good indicator, considering it costs less than 200k rubles for such quality. Just recently he was around 150, but as always, you know, these dollars, they all go up and we start suffering because of it, ordinary people. However, let's not dwell on the sad part. Let's open it up and then open up the device itself. Yes, let's take off the cover and see what is inside. How it is arranged, how well engineers have thought it out. Let us take a look at his remote control and ultimately evaluate the design aspect. Audiophiles are magicians at heart, correct? As a result, they possess incredible magical abilities. Voila, here it is, no other way, but it's magic. And seriously, this knife didn't come in handy for me. Although here, friends, 3mm steel S, and in terms of strength as much as 70, can you imagine? 70, which implies you can virtually cut glass. However, we will not ruin our recipient, because I like it on initial impression. The only thing is, the remote control is somehow, look, right? See? He is small, but it's like 200,000, right? Here comes close to this quantity, and it does not seem like that particular amount. Although, why do you need it when you will be using a smartphone, right? Well, the same. How do you like the front part? It appears to me a very bulky machine in terms of what... So, what do we have here? Do you need to unstick it? Both, especially for you. Opened, you see, and now we're peeling everything off. Incidentally, our lid is not metallic. It performs well in terms of mobility and is easy to handle during walks. Feels premium, yes. And these 2 branded knobs from Pioneer, one of them for selecting the source, and the second one should be responsible for the volume. Since they bothered, we need to turn it on. But unfortunately, we don't have a cool wireward cable that serves as a filter at the final stage. So this is the black, low-cost, utterly useless cable that will now be connected to this pricey device, which is of high value and quality. And regrettably, because of it, he will not be able to reach his goal of 120%. By the way, we do not have grounding here, well, like all Japanese receivers. And probably for all receivers, because I do not remember any device that had grounding. Well, we mean receivers, because integrated amplifiers, they all go along with grounding. And some even come with a pair of network cables. Can you even imagine that? 2 power inputs. Is there any point to this? I believe there is nothing special about it. Please write your comments. We have a branded blue light bulb available for purchase. This is a pioneering, so to speak, subject matter. For them, LX is specifically related to blue diodes. Well, let's go. Stand by. By the way, the button is plastic, friends, not metal. Oops. Characteristic click. And what do we see? Here he is. Well, beautiful, isn't it? Stylish. I recall during their era, the Pioneers, they were situated in a studio like Air Studio, which was an English studio that mixed soundtracks for prestigious films. To one of the top films globally, which you've all practically seen. These are Class 3A blockbusters. Friends, how many times do I have to talk about these abominable, wretched screens that constantly disappoint me? The device is priced at a significant amount of money. I have not had the opportunity to see the 805 model, which features 11 channels and is highly impressive. But I am confident that there will be a small screen of poor quality. He came to us, well, I don't know from what time, probably from the 90s, maybe even from the 80s, because cell phones had such a screen when I was in school. It's probably some kind of 98th year, but it's really unacceptable. But why not insert a normal cool screen here, where there will be all the information, maybe even some tracks, because, by the way, this device It has Bluetooth both input and output, so you can either send a signal to it, for example, from your smartphone, or receive it, for example, on your headphones. It would be great if there was a song here, e.g. with an album, as it supports Tidal, Spotify, Google Chrome. Alright, Ton Weiner. The Chinese might pardon this, but Pioneer, this is Pioneer. They manufactured those plasma TVs there. Do you recall Cura? In the past, there were high-level amplifiers, tape recorders, and a wide range of equipment. Now, there is a screen available. Alright, as they say, let's recall and shed tears. Let's swiftly jog once more, unlock it. See, we have TV here, and here's the config, by the way. Sub, center, front, and so on and so forth. Dimmer, yes. Look, you can... What? Dimmer. No, it doesn't work. Or press like this. Zones. Status. Okay, all clear. The front part has been dealt with. Let's see what we have behind us. Let's pull out this miserable cable and throw it on the floor. And we will exhibit his posterior. By the way, the posterior is aesthetically pleasing. She is like, I think she looks more like a donkey. 6 HDMI inputs, not that much, would like 8, because the number of HDMI devices is growing exponentially. Almost everyone is switching to this standard. And 2 HDMI outputs, but no more is needed. I basically always use practically the same one. 8K we have here, everything is fine, and even a second 8K. Well done. By the way, what is this nest for? What do you think? I assume that for a flash drive, like in Tone Winner, SSD, MP3 to read. Please write your thoughts in the comments section. Terminals for cable connection are good, but there is one nuance that absolutely annoys me. These are these dummy placeholders that are not needed. If you have a banana type cable, you will have to take it with your nails like this. For instance, I lack nails similar to those of women. This is essential. A specially trained girl is required to accompany me with such items. She will retrieve and remove them in this manner, resulting in your satisfaction. However, she will not do it without charge, as you can observe the large number of them. And if you have 9 columns, can you imagine how much work it is? So you will have to pay. Probably by nature it's okay that we still have A. And this is a cool thing, and it's absolutely fully functional. I always say friends should buy a receiver with a preamp output, because if you have a cheap device, you can always upgrade it by installing a power amplifier on 2 channels and connecting your front speakers to it for enhanced audio performance. Connect via pre-out to your processor receiver. Even entry level, remove the load from it and get an additional boost, both in music and in movies. So in this setup, there is a pre-out available on all channels, and it is incredibly cool. I recollect the moments, buddies, distant moments, when receivers consistently had optical inputs and outputs all the time. Now they don't act, but we possess this specific item here. Entry, that's all, no exits. Though occasionally you have to leave, you truly must. Well, also mention in the comments, well, I am of course an old school audiophile, well, striving for the traditional approach, but I did not personally experience the use of dubbing and even FM radio. Why do you even need FM radio on such a device? Here you have everything there, absolutely access to all. World radio station, you can listen to California's luxurious radio there at smoothjazz.com, by the way. I recommend Capital Radio anything you want. But here in Smolensk, we have PFM radio playing such nonsense that I won't even bother to tune the antenna here, and I don't advise you to do it either. By the way, in Moscow you can listen to a cool radio, e.g. Radio Monte Carlo, my fave. In St. Petersburg there is also Radio Monte Carlo, but in my opinion they have a different frequency and it differs with a more lounge direction. More cool antennas? Yes, this is for Wi-Fi, most likely we have it, and for Bluetooth. Well, let's open it. What do you think? Should we take a look at what's inside? I can already see there is only one fan. There is an HDMI board, but there are more details that need to be considered and taken into account. There was a lid, but now there isn't. So what do we have at this moment in time? I have all the items you need. Radiator, fan, transformer, HDMI board. Please let me know if there's anything else I can assist you with. All tasks have been completed well. Is it better than Tone Winner? To be honest, I personally prefer probably still Tone Winner. In my opinion, Tone Winner is the best choice. I have a strong preference for Tone Winner, to be frank. In my personal experience, Tone Winner has consistently delivered exceptional results. Placing a hand on the heart. However, this does not imply that Pioneer is of poor quality. I always speak honestly, I also like him. Here is a very good and powerful transformer machine. Yes, it is done wonderfully. Wires, please take note of which ones. Everything is of very high quality, including the wiring. Dedicated Jimmycon enthusiast. Spinning. Well, where can he go? And regarding the chips, observe how meticulously we have placed them. F1, F2, R2, people collected with intelligence. This is our Wi-Fi board. Please correct me if I am mistaken. Well, alright, everything has been completed satisfactorily. I do not see any flaws whatsoever. Here, friends, you can have a look. Here they are, transistors. It is advantageous to be a werewolf. So, what about the capacitors? Friends, let us examine how many of them we have in terms of capacity. The amount is 10,000. I can see a pair of them here. It equals 2 times 10,000. Total 20. Well, I think it's a bit too little. There must be more, somewhere, probably hidden, right? There is another radiator there. Regarding us, we have a Sheobra. What type of transformer? Shell type or toroidal? Let's ultimately put an end to this dispute. And the most awesome techies, please write in the comment section, because ultimately, which one is superior? Which one would you prefer to have a transformer in your ideal gadget? Spherical or toroidal? In my personal opinion, it is definitely toroidal, without a doubt. To begin with, it is round. Secondly, in some way or another, well, I am accustomed to him being better than this. Cherry on the cake. I have already had the pleasure of listening to him play, and I was truly impressed by his outstanding musical performance in movies. When it comes to music, well, you know, it's essential to have an amplifier in order to enhance the sound quality. Fortunately, here you can use it as a processor. So we watch our channel, be sure to subscribe, and in our next video, or maybe in a while, we will definitely tell and show how he produces videos for us, because it's his feature. This is a high quality transmission of audio and video signals. Although I always say, friends, if you have the opportunity to bypass the processor receiver, always bypass it, feed the sound with a separate HDMI cable. Fortunately, in cool devices like Oppo, well, okay, it hasn't been released for a long time, like Zappity, there is a separate HDMI for sound, so feed it here, and to your projector or TV, feed it. Splitting video signals, you'll be pleased. Thanks for your attention. It was me, Cherkov Rodion, Channel Droid 1.